Good afternoon to one and all present or here. I am Ritika on behalf of Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Delhi. Hereby take the privilege to welcome you to the last session of 5-day faculty development program on nature-inspired optimization techniques, sponsored by AICTE Training and Learning Academy. This session will be on human values and ethics, which will be delivered by Dr. Vinod Kumar Shanwal. I hereby take up honor to give a brief introduction about him. Dr. Vinod Kumar Shanwal is currently working as Head Department of Education and Training, School of Humanities and Social Sciences, Gautam Budh University, Greater Noida. Dr. Shanwal also worked as Associate Professor with Fiji National University at the College of Humanities and Education in Fiji Islands. Prior to joining GPU, Dr. Shanwal had been awarded with the Research Associate Fellowship from the Indian Council of Medical Research, Delhi. He had carried out his postdoctoral research work at the Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences. He also worked in ICMR Task Force project on societal behavior. He is a recipient of prestigious awards like Young Scientist and ESDA Green Award. His name has also been figured in Emerging Indians 2007 under the Science Technology category through survey conducted by the Week IMRB in its August issue 2007. Dr. Shanwal has been awarded Doctorate of Philosophy from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi in the field of emotional intelligence. He has done 3 post-graduations. He is one of the pioneer researchers in the field of emotional intelligence, and his work has been published by national and international media including Fiji Times. He has contributed 4 books. One of his books was published by Nova Science Publisher. He has written several papers including book chapters, research paper, and more than dozens of conferences and seminars at national as well as international level. He has been invited by several prestigious institutes and universities for invited talks for special lectures and as a keynote speaker on the various topics like emotional intelligence, research methodology, stress management, etc. His area of interest are stress management, research methodology, value of education, physiological issues, environmental education, and emotional intelligence. Having all said, I'd like to give the charge to Dr. Vinod Kumar Shanwal to take the session forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At the outset, I would like to compliment and congratulate Professor Vivek Srivastava and his team for conducting such a wonderful program. Professor Srivastava is very enthusiastic person, and he used to conduct several programs simultaneously. I'm really grateful to you for giving me the opportunity, and a very good evening to one and all present here, and a very happy Guru Purnima to all. Today we have Guru Purnima also. So I'm really thankful to you all for giving me the opportunity for such a important day. So thank you very much. Today, the assignment which is given to me is human values and ethics. I think my PPTs are visible.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So when we are talking about human values, it's a very important topic now these days. From the time immemorial, we used to conduct several programs related to value education, related to ethics and morality. Few things which are very important related to this program, and as I was told to just write down the learning outcome of this program. So I understand that the participant will be able to understand meaning, definition, purpose of values, type of values, value system, importance of values, meaning of ethics, professional ethics, and to imbibe values and ethics in the life. So let us begin with values. How important values are. Albert Einstein, we all know about Albert Einstein, and he told that try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. And when we're talking about value, means why we are just continuously talking about value, we are giving importance to anything, but this simple importance is not values. When we have to buy a simple pen from the market, the moment we ask to for a pen, ultimately we buy a pen not because that is costlier, that we just take that pen because that pen writes very well. So the value of that pen is not the cost of that particular product or that particular pen, but the work that particular pen is doing for us is rather more important. Mohanchand Karamchand Gandhi, whom we just consider as a father of a nation, he also just said, if wealth is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. But if character is lost, everything is lost, and best of all thing is character. That's why we are giving more emphasis when we are just sending our kids to the schools. The ultimate purpose is just character building. When we are talking about character building, it's a combination of several important aspects. And in ancient time also, we used to take education in the gurukuls. And in the gurukuls, the teacher or the gurus used to preach their students, and what they covered under that course was the values, the characters, what are the important to survive, or what things are, means what are the do's and what are the don'ts, and what is important and why it is important. So what are values? The basis of human personality is very powerful as well as it's very complex. When we are talking about personality, ultimately we have to decide several things, and what things we have to decide which regulate our human behavior. We have to decide about good and bad. When we are talking about good and bad, then we have a choice. We have to choose one out of the two. If we are talking about a path, which path we have to follow? We have a right path, another is a wrong path. But ultimately, we need to understand which path is right and which path is wrong. We have three important words. Sometimes people use all these three as interchangeably, but all these three are not interchangeable. When we are talking about values, it means values define us about the principles and ideals. That's why we used to take people as ideals. Several people are ideals for us. Some people just follow any star, any politician, some people any scientist. So we have different ideals for us. When we are talking about ideal people, who are the ideal people? Who are the role model for us? Then which help us making the judgment of what is more important, because we have a choice here. We could choose either to good or to bad, but what is more important, we have a choice. Out of that, when we are talking about morals, moral just talks about decisions. And what decisions? Those decisions are based upon values. The moment we just pass out from any college or any university, we get a certificate. That certificate is called as character certificate. In that particular character certificate, the word is very clearly written. He or she bears a good moral character. It means there are some bad moral characters also. So here it covers two things. One is character. Character covers under values, and another is good. It means that particular person is being assessed on the moral values. Then comes the third thing, that is ethics. Ethics is refers to the guidelines for conduct. We have to just perform many tasks on regular basis. So when we talk just performing all these tasks, so ultimately we are being assessed on certain parameters. So it assess our conduct, and what conduct that address about the morality. So ultimately all these three have a very close connection. Then different people value differently. Yes, somebody like money, somebody like standard, somebody like character. So different people have different choices. Somebody like Amitabh Bachchan, somebody like Shah Rukh Khan. So it's on their own choice. Somebody like Mahatma Gandhi, somebody may like some other person. So what is valued and what is worthy to be valued? The more important thing is what is worthy to be valued. Does everybody know what is really good? So we need to make our students understand, or we need to make our kids understand what is really good and what is really not good. In this system, nothing is right and wrong. It makes our thinking makes it right or wrong. But on what basis we are thinking? The very renowned philosopher, he just told about just give emphasis on your thinking. The moment you give emphasis on your thinking, ultimately others thing will be get corrected. And we have no such parameter to judge about these values. Scientific judgment can be verified. Yes, if we just take any experiment, we have certain parameters. So it's also related to how sweet tea is. Yeah, tea is sweet. But we are talking about the degrees. Which kind of degree or which degree we are talking about? So it's not related to sweetness of that tea, but the degree that matters. So we could assess the measurement. Yes, a person is 5 feet, or a thing is 2 kg weight, or that makes this and that makes that. We could differentiate. Scientific judgment can be verified. Yes, that could be measured. But when we are talking about value judgment, that we can't verify easily. We have certain thing which is based upon our belief. The relativity of value and culture and society and personality. Ultimately, what we learn, what we understand about values, what we understand about these good things or these moral principles, ultimately we have a society, and every society has certain norms, every society has certain system which every person of that particular society has to follow. When we are talking about the system, it means those norms are borrowed by the family, and the family just transfer those important things. That things are transmitted from one generation to another generation. So when we're talking about the values, it means values are basically principles, values are basically norms, and values are basically attributes that one considered important, because we have to find out which principles I would like to follow for my life, what norms I need to follow. It also vary from one society to another society. Norms are just made up by the society. Every society has different norms. Maybe this society has, say, one society belongs to X category, another society belongs to Y category. X society have different norms and Y society have different norms. But when we are just talking about these norms, every society has its own norms. And when we are talking about the principles, yes, we follow persons who just are talking about, or just who have some standards of their life. we follow any person, yeah, that Mr. X is very good. Why do we like Mr. X? Because X never tell lie. That person follow truth. So when we like Mr. X based on the standards, and value also differ from person to person because they are based on one's own assessment. Sometimes we have different priorities, and it also vary from one country to another country, one state to another state. Sometimes we have difference. If we just talk about the difference of countries, so we have two different ideologies. One ideology about which we are talking related to our ancient ideology. And if we are just talking about ancient ideology, that ancient ideology just consists of we. Ultimately, a person born in a family, that time that person is I, and gradually after mixing up with the family, with the society, with the state, with the country, and after following the entire world, that person became we. Ultimately, we are not thinking about ourselves, rather we are thinking about the welfare or interest of others also. Like if I have something to do, ultimately I just think to share that thing with my family, with my brother, with my sibling, with my friends. And we have number of examples. We have an example of Krishna and Sudama. Besides that, we have number of other examples. We have example of Mahabharata, where Sri Krishna and Vidur, they were two different characters. Sri Krishna and Arjun, they were two different characters. So the Kauravas are known for their bad devils, and Pandavas are known for their good deeds. So ultimately, we different person follow different system, and when we are just talking about the another ideology or another concept, that concept is being followed in the Western societies, in the other countries. Western people used to give emphasis on an individual, rather we are giving more emphasis on the collectivistic approach. We have a very collectivistic approach, rather than Western people are just following individualistic approach. In that individualistic approach, they used to follow that materialistic things. If and we are not following that materialistic thing. If we just go into a little just deep, then ultimately we have a philosophy of calm, earth, dharma, and ultimately moksha. But they have a system of socialization. In their system of socialization, they give more emphasis towards themselves, and they have a system of earth. Earth means monitoring terms. So ultimately, they are following materialistic thing. Rather, we are not following that materialistic thing. That's why these value differ from person to person. Rather, these are the choices. So some concepts, some standards, and some attributes that considered by one person, these are valuable or these are desirable. In our own culture, because we are rich in heritage, we have a very good culture. With this culture, we used to follow several things. So when we are talking about the values or principles by which we should conduct our life every day, we have several choices on daily basis, and we choose according to best of our ability, and which focusing on what is truly essential for our life, whether we are running behind the money or we have to earn money with certain respect or with some standards. Like we have several examples. Generally, people just quote Ratan Tata about this. Or we are just buying a product. Why we are buying any product from the market? Because that market means that product has certain standards. We used to buy any product from the market based upon that particular logo or this tag. What is that tag? That tag denotes the principles or standards of that particular product. That's why we are just talking about the natural result of living and putting our ideals into actions. We have to decide number of things, and life is filled with happiness, excitement, inspiration, harmony, balance, and number of other things or number of other activities. But it's up to us in which circumstances, under what condition I am become happy. I would like to just share one example here. I think that would be easier for me to explain the concept. One person whose income was very limited and he wanted to just take admission, or he wanted to get the admission of his son to a particular program, say engineering. And that person had two choices. That person was very limited earning and he was ultimately just hand to mouth. But despite that, he had two choices. One choice was A and another choice was B. A institute asked for 10 lakh rupees, whether B institute asked for 4 lakh rupees, and that person was having only 2 lakhs rupees. Despite that, that person just tried for 10 lakh rupees and he ultimately went to that A institute and discussed with the receptionist about the college or about the quality of that particular institute. The moment that person was discussing about that quality, that gentleman asked the receptionist, "You are just like my son, and I want to choose your institute for admission of my son, but I have very limited amount. Despite that, I would like to just manage somehow, but I want my child will read, or my child will study with your esteemed institute. But can you take any guarantee that after taking admission into this institute, my child will get desirable result, or he will get any good position?" In that particular situation, the receptionist was ultimately into dilemma. He had two things. One thing was the code of profession, because that person was earning that money as salary from that institute where he was working. Simultaneously, he was seeing or watching the condition of that particular person who was desperate to get admission for his child anyhow. So that person was in dilemma. So sometimes we have two positions, two situations, which to choose. So here also we have life with happiness. How do we become happy? Whether I'm happy with simple bread and butter, whether I'm happy with crores of rupees, whether I'm happy with number of cars, or whether I'm happy with a bicycle. It depends. But ultimately, to becoming happy, what is the logic behind that? When we are talking about logic, it means, do we follow any value system? Do we follow any moral? Do we have any ethics? If we are following all three and after that I am earning money, then no issues at all. But if we are just earning that money without finding the cause or without finding the genesis, the way I am earning the money, that also matters. So here we have number of choices and we want to become happy. Everybody wants to become happy, but it depends with values, with ethics, and with moral, which kind of happiness I am looking for. Then simultaneously we have little variations in our plans also, because we have to just handle, or we have to run the life. Sometimes we are in a dilemma which path to choose. So we have several sources of values. When we are talking about sources of values, ultimately we have several sources of values. What are those sources? Sources of value are personal factors. What are those personal factors? Like, I'm following somebody, I'm as role model, maybe any person who is role model, I'm following that particular person because of several values. Mr. X, whom I'm considering as my role model, gets up early in the morning at 5 o'clock. I like him because he's doing lots of exercises. I like him because he's a very intelligent person. I like him because he's a good star. I like him because he's a good academician. So we have number of parameters, but these ultimately come from personal factors. These are one of the sources. Another sources of values are social factors. In the society, we have number of persons, and I just discussed recently that every society have certain norms, certain principles, certain standards, and we have to follow that norms and standards, and that norms and standards are being borrowed by that particular family whom we belong, and those norms are standards for us. Even though we have two different things, one is norms and another is rules. Few things which are laid down in our constitution, if we just cross a zebra crossing or just cross a red light, ultimately I will have to pay fine. Those rules are standard rules that is written in the constitution, and based upon that rule was passed, and any police personnel just make or impose fine upon me because of that wrongdoing. But society has its own different rules, and those norms are not written anywhere, but that is being transmitted from one generation to another generation. Another is cultural factors. We have number of cultural activities. Like today we have Guru Purnima. What is the basis of Guru Purnima? Why we celebrate Guru Purnima? Why we celebrate Holi? Why we celebrate Eid? Why we celebrate other festivals? Every festival has different purpose. When we are talking about that purpose, ultimately we have certain activity, we have certain moral behind that. In fact, when we were kids, we used to study the stories in the schools. And in the end of the story, it is clearly mentioned. Moral of the story is what? Moral of the story is honesty. Moral of the story is this. Moral of the story was that. And it's not necessary that we read the stories in the books. We have several other things that Dada Dadi and these grandparents and grandchildren used to have attachment, and during that they used to convey several important messages through stories, through different activities. Then media also play important role of values. I'm not talking about the negative publicity, I'm talking about the several important issues. One serial was Ramayana, one serial was Mahabharata. So ultimately all these serials, and I'm not talking about these serials, we have number of new channels, we have number of other activities which ultimately transmit those values and that give importance. What is important after that? Then we have several experiences of life. With these experiences of life, we used to learn on daily basis. And these experiences are being shared with the society members. These experiences are being shared by us to our mates, fellow mates, society mates, and our neighbors. So we have these experiences. Then role and responsibilities. These are very important. Role and responsibilities are also rich source of values. A person has multiple role and multiple responsibilities. Here, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a father, and I'm a husband. I have multiple roles to play, and I have when I'm just playing several roles, then ultimately I have to make a balance. I have to make a balance among all the activities. I have make a balance among all the roles and responsibilities. How dedicatedly or how intelligently I handle my roles and responsibilities also inspire me to do that better. Then religious factor. Earlier we used to take these messages or these value system from the religious system. Now also, I'm just talking about the ancient education system. In ancient education system, the gurus, the teachers used to teach several activities to the students, or whom they called as Shishya. Several activities. Those were archery, those were religious practices, those were these uh, health related activities, how to make the body fit, what are the moral conduct or what are the ethical conduct or what are the standards. So everything was given to them. Now also we have several religious practices and people used to go to temple or church or gurdwara, whatever religious practices they are being followed. In these religious practices, we used to share the responsibilities. In fact, a very good example, if just I would like to share with you, during this first phase of pandemic, which we never encountered, and it was not only us who encountered such a disaster, rather it was a challenge for the entire world. But despite that, people used to share, people used to feed the people used to feed the neighbors. The doctors and nursing and the paramedical staff used to serve the needy. So that was a system. So these are also source of values, and family factors is also important. When we are living in the family, we used to share the things. We are sharing the accommodation, we are sharing several other things. And with this system, we used to inculcate or we used to develop some harmonious relationship among our family members. Those who are living in Western countries, they have a different system. After attaining a particular age, the children used to live away from their parents and they have their own private life and their personal life. They give more emphasis on their personal life. Rather, in our own country, we have a system of harmony, we have a system of interdependency. We have a system of interdependency. When we are interdepending upon each other, ultimately we have that system of sacrifice. Now, we have certain value conflicts also. When we are talking about value, the example which I just shared with you about a person who is earning money, for a institute, but despite that, when that particular person is asking, yes, gentlemen, you are just like my son and I want to get admitted to my child to your esteemed institution, can you make any guarantee, or is there any possibility that after attending this program my child is get established or child is get any good job? So that situation is in very dilemma. That person was thinking, if that person was thinking from that code of ethics, that some person who is feeding him, some organization who is feeding him, and that particular person is getting salary from that particular organization, but despite that, his inner conscious, when we are talking about the conscious, the inner conscious was just hitting him. No, this person is needy, he has to take money from other institute. Why don't you ask, or why don't you share with him that our institute is obviously costlier? Why don't you go for B institute which is charging 2 lakh rupees? So such things And ultimately, these are the dilemmas when we have conflicts, because a particular person has some lifestyle. Which kind of lifestyle? When we are talking about any lifestyle, if we just go a little detail about our ancient system, see, in our ancient system, we are considering every person as means a system of God or representative of God. When we were just consider that person as a representative of God, ultimately, how could we just disturb, or how could we just cheat that particular person? How could we don't listen to him? So ultimately, when we are talking about different lifestyle and a particular lifestyle, we are living in a collectivistic society, and in any collectivistic society, we need to take care of each other, and it's interdependency of system, and we are living with each other. So that's why that lifestyle is dangerous sometime, but that person has to decide whether that person has to live with that lifestyle, because our youth is following that Western system, though we have a collectivistic approach with our own system. Sometimes it happens with the youth to decide which path they have to follow. Then high level of stress. Why? Some life dissatisfaction. Some life dissatisfaction just compel our youth for stress and irritation, and it happens with anybody. It depends, but we have to make a balance in those situations. Sometimes any person has a dilemma, yes, choose to right path or choose to wrong path, because certain challenges in the life we have to follow. Then we will be able to build our life maximum values. Alignment, how to align these values, because we have different roles and we have different responsibilities. Whenever any conflict occurs or any conflict happen, suppose I have two priorities. I have to go to my office, simultaneously my mother asked me, just come with me, I have to attend a doctor. I ultimately have a dilemma whether to listen to office or whether to listen to mother, but we have to make a balance. Now, are values developed or inherited? Obviously, when we are talking about personality, two important factors are responsible for personality. One is hereditary factors, and these hereditary factors are just transmitted from one generation to another generation. Simultaneously, we have other things that could be developed. And how do we develop these things? These could be earned, or these could be developed with the help of the society, with following any person, by watching or by observing any person. If we just take any example, uh, Eklavya was the person who wanted to learn from Guru Dronacharya, but he was following that person and he had a dedication. So he developed that skill, and he just known, everybody knows about him. So here I mean to say, these values are developed, these are not inherited. So morals and behavior, we are just learning from this society. In fact, some renowned sociologists also just said that when a child born in any society, that particular child is just like a clean slate. That child is a plain slate. It's the society which writes on that slate, and like it's the society which give any direction or molds to that particular child about those things. A newly born baby don't know what is moral, what is good, what is bad, what is values, what is ethics. But the moment that particular child used to observe the activities of that particular society, used to observe the things, gradually he also just came to know that which kind of system that particular society is being following. Then our morals and behaviors are deliberate decisions. Gradually, the moment we are just becoming older, we learn those decisions from the society, from the surroundings. and it's an ongoing process. It's not a 1 year or 2 year or 10-year process. The moment we are getting more older, we are getting rich in experiences. The moment we are rich in experiences, we are able to just share with any person based upon the experiences which we have. Then we have to learn and adapt the new situation. For example, recently we just encountered that such a disaster, and we just overcome with that disaster. Not only first phase, rather second phase was more dangerous. So, but during that system also, the very good example, just those who just preserved those injections, or those who just stopped for these oxygen cylinders, ultimately they never followed those values and those ethical principles. Rather, they were just running behind the money. But simultaneously, there are n number of people who just served for the society. So here we have different examples, and it depends whom we consider as our role model, those stockists or those who are serving for the society. And in society also, we need to certain reforms in the society from time to time, like this Sati Pratha, this Bal Vivah, child marriage. We have several problems with our society. Gradually we realized these traditional rules and goals are not suitable, and we are moving towards other thing, because nothing is permanent in this world, rather change is permanent. So when we are changing from one generation to another generation, we are changing from one tradition to another tradition. When we are changing, ultimately we need to reform our societies, and several reformists who were part of these societies, and ultimately they revised value system. Every culture has its own marriage rules. Everybody knows every society or every culture has its own rules for marriage. Then they have different requirement for their child, which kind of child-parent relationship they have, which kind of socialization of their child have, which kind of child practices they have. Ultimately, work also based upon the sex and age and position. Every person. In fact, if we just talk about the family is a great institution. When we are talking about the family is a great institution. In family, the role of the head of the family is decided, the role of mother is decided, role of sister is decided, role of child is decided, or brother is decided. So we have that system. Every person is just playing its own role with sincerely, or with sincerity, with dedication, with devotion, and gradually they are living very harmonious relation. So these things, these marriage practices and child rearing practices and other basic human social organization are governed by certain specific rules. What are rules? Those rules are being followed in a family also. If head of the family is just doing anything, everybody supported them. But when head of the family is just asking for any decision or opinion, every person gives suggestions. In every organization, it's not necessary that all the rules are defined, all the rules are very specific, and all the rules are in written form. Rather, several other organizations, when we are talking about the society, when we are talking about the family, when we are talking about the individual person, several things which are being governed by specific rules, and these rules are not written anywhere. Rather, these rules are being followed and these rules are being practiced. And the other things, several social structures. In fact, one thing which I would like to share with you, sometime some mobilities in the society also held. And two kinds of mobilities are there. One mobility is considered as vertical mobility, and another is called as horizontal mobility. When we are talking about vertical mobility, it means every society is working in the same pace or working with the same system, but one person or some limited person out of that particular society get elevated. The moment that particular person is get elevated, ultimately that elevation is called as vertical movement or vertical movement or vertical development. But if the entire society is just moving, that is called as horizontal. It also depends the lifestyle of system. Sometime due to development, the societies are moving from one place to another place. The moment the society move from one place to another place, after that their work culture has been changed, their system has been changed, their custom has been changed. The moment that particular person or that particular family merged with a new society, they learn the new system. Few things are common, few systems are common, but after certain distance or after certain areas, few things are different. If we are just talking about values, we have two important system of values, two important types of values. One is terminal values, ultimate values, what we want to ultimately achieve, or what is our desire to find out. So these are the terminal values. For example, if those who are pursuing engineering from IITs or NITs, their ultimate job is just to get a very good opportunity or get a very good job. But they need to follow a system. Or just we just take another example. A particular person who born in any family, he has some aspiration to get a good job. But to get that particular job or that particular good job, that person has to perform. When that person has to perform, ultimately that person has to achieve something. Or what that thing? Ultimately certain degrees, certain examination that particular person has to crack, and that particular person has to follow certain norms. If a person is just aspiring for a job, if that particular person is aspiring for a job, then that particular person has to acquire a degree. After acquiring degree, that particular person has to just go for written examination. If written examination is not there, then that particular person has to face the interview. If after the interview, that particular person has to just come in the merit. After that, that particular person is get the ultimate goal. So here also in values also, we have two kind of value. One is terminal value. Terminal value means ultimate value, and another is instrumental. What is become instrumental to achieve that particular target or to achieve that particular value. And combination of both terminal value as well as instrumental value make value system. When terminal value and these instrumental values work together, ultimately we achieve that value system. Here also, when we are talking about value system, basically these value system are determinants of value, what, who we are as an individual. I'm an individual. Who am I? What is the life purpose of my life? What I'm doing? What I need to do? So these are the certain questions. So let us discuss terminal values. What are the terminal values for any person? These are the few terminal values. First is family security. Whenever a person just living in any society or in any organization or working anywhere, the first and foremost task is just to security of the family. Which kind of security we are looking for? Are we looking any security where we have all the facilities? Not only physical security, mental security is also there. Sense of accomplishment. If I'm preparing for some examination, if I'm doing anything, after accomplishing or after achieving that, I'm just having or I'm just realizing, yes, I have done it. In fact, we had a theory, and probably most of us have read that theory. That was theory of hierarchical need. That theory was given by Maslow. And according to that theory, we have certain needs. First was biological need. After achieving those needs, ultimately we just move for second need. The moment we achieve second need, we move for third need. The first was physical need, then gradually shelter. The moment I'm just asking for any thing, the first and foremost thing is what? Just to get my physical need done. The moment my physical need done, water, air, the moment I just get food and air, and after that I feel that at least I should have some shelter to live in. The moment I get shelter, then ultimately I'm just looking for companion. Yes, at least something or somebody could be there to whom I could just discuss. The moment I got that person also, then I'm looking for my status. Who is senior, who is junior, what is hierarchy, and under what hierarchy I need to follow that system. And gradually, if I get that also, after attaining a particular stage, that person is achieved. Yes, I have achieved it. So that is sense of accomplishment after accomplishing any system. Then true friendship. When we are talking about true friendship, uh, we have better example of Krishna and Sudama. One was a king and another was a very simple person. Then comfortable life. Everybody wants comfortable life, and there is no harm in looking for comfortable life. World of peace, obviously everybody is looking for world of peace where everybody is living with harmony, no conflict, no issues, nothing. Everybody is doing or everybody is doing their own task, everybody is living with a systematic way. Then national security, it is very important, especially now these days when we have several challenges of these terrorist attacks, and ultimately these COVID or that virus which was generated by the China, as read in the newspaper or just people are just saying, so based on hearsay, that such kind of security is also important. There's such viruses, such other threats to the life or other threat to the country. Then social recognition. Yes, being a person or being a member of every society, every person wants some recognition. Any kind of recognition, whether to maintain a system, we need that recognition. Yes, somebody is senior, somebody is junior, somebody is elder, somebody is younger. So we need to follow that system. That is also important. Self-respect, this is very important. The moment we don't give our respect, every person has its own respect. The moment we need to take care of our body, we need to take care of our things, we need to spend some time for us also. Simultaneously, when I'm just doing, because we have no competition with anybody else, rather I have competition with myself. After 5 years, where I have to achieve, or before 5 years, where was I? So I have to just make that judgment. Now we have these instrumental values. With these instrumental values, we ultimately achieve those terminal values. Here is self-controlled. Why we need to require this self-control? Why I need to control myself? Here, that self-control means controlling the emotions, controlling the feelings, controlling my thinking. I need to control my thinking, why I need to control my emotions, why I need to control my feelings, because here I have a dilemma whether to choose right path or whether to choose wrong path, which path I need to follow, which path I need to attain. So when I have to attain any path, when I have to attain anything, ultimately I need to control myself. It means I have to control my emotions, I have to control my feelings, and ambitious. It's very important. Without having any ambitious, without having any target, we never fight for it. In fact, if we just talk about stress management, under stress management also two important things. One is called as stress and another is called as eustress. The moment we decide any target that motivates us to achieve, that force is called as eustress. So without having any ambitious, without having any ambition, we never fight, or we never thought, or we never think to go ahead, or we never think to move ahead. So that ambitious or that ambition is more important than courageous. Yes, we have to courage to take decisions. In fact, in management also, people used to say, take decision and justify that decision. Or we have to take several challenges of the world. It's not about taking a single decision. It's about the number of decisions we have to take. If Shahid Bhagat Singh and we have Subhash Chandra Bose, we have a number of other heroes who took decision courageously, and now they are heroes for us. So as an individual, I have several ambitions, but how to get those ambitions, how to fulfill those ambitions? When I have to fulfill those ambitions, which mode I need to follow, which system I need to follow, which direction I need to follow, then broad-minded. Yes, we have to change according to change. We can't rigid, we can't be static. When we are talking about values, obviously value system is there, but in value system also we had several examples, and now we have several examples where our social reformist reforms the society. The moment they reforms the society, ultimately we had certain changes, and those changes are valuable for us. Now also, few things which are important now these days. People are thinking about those changes. Gradually, we will be able to achieve those changes, but we need to be a broad-minded person. Several things have been changed. The system have been changed. Obedient. Obedience is a very good quality. It's a value. It doesn't mean that blind follower, but obedient means a person who is following the instructions. It doesn't make any guarantee that anybody could be a blind follower of any person. In a system, we have to follow certain instructions. We have to work with a society. We have to work with in a family. In family also, we need to follow the system. In office also, we need to follow the system. To run any system, we have a team of persons, whether that is our organization, whether that is our family, whether that is our society. If we have to catch a bus, then only we have to stand in the bus stand. At the bus stand, we have to follow certain norms. The moment bus come, who will just enter into bus, whether that seat is reserved for female, whether that seat is reserved for any visually challenged, or whether that seat is reserved for anybody. So we have to follow certain norms. So here also, I'm not saying that we need to be a blind follower, rather we need to be obedient. Then imaginative. Yes, creativity is very important. If we are not creative enough, or if we were not imaginative, then how could we connect from such a far place? Everybody is sitting at a different place, at different city, but we all are just discussing, we all are in the session. Who made it possible? that imagination made it possible. The moment we are imaginative, we are just doing certain new inventions. The moment we are inventing anything, obviously we are getting new things. The moment we are getting new things, these are facilitator or these are helpful for us. Then we, the Indian societies, we, the Indian people, are really very helpful from the beginning. We are interdependent. We are just following that system. A person who is just growing the crops is sharing the crops with other person. A person who is just working for furniture, that person provides furniture, and another person who is just involved in construction, a person who is an engineer giving direction, a doctor who is treating the patient. So from beginning we are a helpful society, we are interdependent person, we are just moving from we are dependent from one person to another person. So that's why it's very good that we should be very helpful. Then forgiving. People who have made several researches recently and in ancient time also, forgiving is one of the important virtues. Those who are forgiving and forgetting are not bothering about those things. Those who are not forgiving and not forgetting are ultimately creating hurdle for them for their progress. So those who are forgiving and forgetting, it's a very good virtue. So what are the benefits of values? Ultimately, we are looking for a meaningful life. We are not living for a long life. And it is very well said about Swami Vivekananda that long life has no good meaning, or that long life is not very important. Rather, a meaningful life is important, and those who are living with values, those who are depending upon values, those who are considering value, they are living a meaningful life. And those who are not living with these values are living, whether that life is too long but that life has no meaning, it means that life has a useless life. I'm not saying that everybody is living useless life, but here we have two choices. One choice is living a meaningful life, another choice is not meaningful life. When we have a meaningful life, when we have option of meaningful life, why don't we follow that meaningful life? Then to live that meaningful life, we need to follow certain system. What are those system? We need to certain value system. What are those value system? We have to live in this society, and we have certain parameters to follow. More important is, when we have a meaningful life, when we have a value system, ultimately life purpose is clearer, because we have a very clear-cut idea about our system. Yes, I won't like this system, I won't like bribe, I don't like, but simple, so simple. So those who are living with those values, those who are living with those standards, they have a very clear purpose. Life vision and goal are very clear. Yes, they have a vision of their life. Swami Vivekananda had a vision of his life. Abdul Kalam Azad had a vision of his life. And we have Subhash Chandra Bose has a vision of life. They had their goals also. We have also some vision and some goal of our life. Decision making is easier when we have very clear in our decision making. Yes, which path I need to follow. Ultimately, these systems are helpful in following this. Which path I have to follow, which route I have to follow. So these are helpful in making decisions and choices. Yes, whether I would like to live a luxurious life or whether I would like to live a meaningful life. The moment I'm living a meaningful life, ultimately I need to compromise. Which kind of compromises? I don't want to that luxurious life, that not like that materialistic life. Those who are working for the society, they are living a very simple life, but they have a very meaningful life. And we have number of examples about this. Stress is reduced when I'm very clear in my mind which goal I need to follow, which path I need to follow, what vision I have to live, which kind of purpose of my life is. Ultimately, things are very clear. The moment everything is clear and crystal, then there is very low scope of any kind of stress. No scope of any kind of stress. Mahatma Gandhi had a vision. He had a different system. And for freedom also, we have two different systems. One system was, or one ideology was called as Naramdal, and another ideology was called as Garamdal. They had very clear in their minds, and both the ideologies were appreciated by their followers, because both the ideologies were living a valuable life. They had a very clear vision, they had a very clear mission, they had a very clear goal, and they have a very system. They had a system of their life. So ultimately, based upon all these things, the moment stress is less, obviously life is become easier. Then we have to take several decisions. When we have to take several decisions, ultimately it laid foundation of understanding the attitude. We have to deal with the society. We have to deal with the people. We can't live without society. We can't live without people. Those who are working in any industry, whether that person is a senior scientist, whether that person is a technocrat, whether that person is a social scientist, everybody is serving for the society, everybody is earning for the society, or everybody is doing for the society. The moment we are doing these activities, the moment we are doing everything with a very clear vision, with a very clear mission, with a clearer goal, then ultimately it is very easy to understand the attitude and motivation of a person. When we are working in a team, what's our purpose? Our purpose is just to understand each other. The moment we are understanding each other, we are pushing forward to a person who are working in a team, because we know to win any cricket or any football match or any other match, the influence of all the team or the performance of all the team ultimately responsible or plays an important role. If a person, or sorry, if we have a team of 11%, all the 11% are performing. Ultimately, if somebody just does wrong or any wrongdoing of a single person, ultimately affect the performance or hamper the performance of the entire team. So here also, we have to work in a team. The moment we are working in a team, ultimately we need to take support from each and every person. Each and every person of the team is important, whether that person is playing any role. Here also, when we are talking about personal value system, it influences the perception of an individual. We just make choices, we make perceptions about individual, we make a perception about anything, we make perception about any society. So these are important to make perception about any person. Suppose I just like cricket. I have a perception about cricket. The moment I am just making my perception about cricket, the moment I am making any perception about any team, I have that system in my mind. And it also influences the way which individual view other individual or a group of people in the organization, because we have to work with the organization, we have to work with the seniors, we have to work with the subordinate, we have to work with the colleagues. So in any organization, whether that is our workplace, whether that our home, or whether that is our society, we have to deal with number of people in a day. How beautifully or how better understanding we have with those persons whom we are dealing, obviously help us in finding a better result. Then we have to take several decisions in a day. The moment we just challenge those decisions, ultimately we can't survive. Yes, if any serious thing is there, then definitely I will have to challenge. But when things are going systematic, then we have to follow that system, follow that hierarchy. Now, the second component is ethics. When we're talking about ethics, again, we have two ways. One way is right way and another is wrong way. We have to follow which system or which way I have to follow. Right way, wrong way. Here you could see from this indication, right way is little bit brighter than the wrong way. Right way is brighter than the wrong way. And ethics, basically these are the conducts. And these conducts are just differentiates, which is acceptable and which is not unacceptable, which is acceptable or not acceptable. We have to decide on what basis. We have certain norms to decide the conduct, and these are the principles and guidelines that help us to uphold. There's a minor difference among all these three. Ethics are the principles and guidelines that help us to uphold those things which we value. Ultimately, ethics is helpful in finding the value system. One more example, ethics has two important areas. One is ethics is one of the discipline of philosophy. Philosophy is considered as mother of all the disciplines, and ethics is one of the discipline of philosophy. And as a discipline of philosophy, ethics is being studied based upon certain conducts. So as a course, as a discipline, it talks about that conduct, but there's a little bit difference between ethics and moral here. Ethics is considered as a discipline, and like a discipline, this moral is considered as a content of that particular discipline. Now, what is moral? Moral is ultimately that decision which is based upon the values. So all these three are important, and in ethics also we have two important things. First is we just read ethics as a discipline. Secondly, every conduct is being decided based upon the ethics. Several principles of ethics are there, but moral is considered as one of the content of ethics. Now, these are the important components. First is honesty. When we're talking about honesty, what is honesty? Everybody knew honesty. We have to work in a situation, we have to work at workplace, we have to deal with person. If I am just dealing with any person, say I have any relation, I'm just dealing with my child, then I need to find that relationship. Which kind of relationship? Honesty in that relation. If I am just talking or if I am dealing with my student, then I need to follow that honesty. Ultimately, honesty refers to a facet of moral character, and it denotes positive virtues, attributes such as integrity. These are interlinked. Integrity, truthfulness, and straightforwardness. That's why William Shakespeare said, honesty is the best policy. If I lose my honor, I lose myself. So we just consider honesty in these terms. Then integrity. When we integrate, rather the program we just integrate, like in a dual degree integrated program, BTech, MTech. So here the purpose or the meaning of integrate is just the value consists of actions. What actions? Those values, those methods, those measures, and those principles. What are those principles? Who have certain expectations. Then we have several relations, but which kind of relation we are talking about? We need to follow transparency in our dealing, and transparency is a very simple quality. When we are talking about transparency, it's a very simple quality, and as Dalai Lama said, that lack of transparency result in distress and a deep sense of insecurity. Now these days we are writing several papers together. One person is working as co-author and we are working as a main author. Then we need to have that transparency also. Who would be the first author? Who would be the second author? That is part of transparency. If we are working in a team, then we need to define the role of that particular team. Which person would be the team captain? Which person? I'm talking about that team. I'm not talking about organization. In organization also, every person has that system. If a person is working as a boss, that person has also certain responsibility towards the subordinates. If everything is very transparent, then it is very easier, very simpler to work with. Then accountability. Accountability is also a more important thing, because these are the conducts of ethics. Why these are the conducts of ethics? Because when we are talking about accountability, generally people have that blame game. Here, instead of blaming game, we take to onus. Yes, I'm accountable. Accountable for what? Accountability means acknowledgement, assumption of responsibility. Yes, I am taking that responsibility for my actions, whether those actions were good or whether those actions were bad. If I did anything, if I took any decision, instead of blame game, I need to follow that accountability. Yes, it's my responsibility. Being a member of this team, I'm just owning it. I'm just acknowledging it. And I'm just deciding, yes, that decision was mine about the policy. And in simple words, I am answerable. I am answerable for anything, whether that work was good or that work was bad, whether that decision was good or whether that decision was bad. Then we have several accountability. One is this ethics accountability. Simultaneously, we have individual accountability. As an individual, I have certain responsibility. I'm also accountable for my deeds. In an organization, I have other accountability. In my home, I have another accountability. In my circle, I have another accountability. Then confidentiality. Confidentiality is very important. Why it is important? Because it's a principle of discretion. It's a principle of association with the profession. If I am dealing number of files at my table, I need to follow that confidentiality. If I am just evaluating, or if I am just making question paper, then I need to follow that confidentiality. And if I am just having any kind of meeting, then also I need to follow that confidentiality. In fact, sometime whatever decision is being taken in the meetings, and if somebody share any decision outside the meeting, generally people say it was breach of trust. When we are talking about breach of trust, what was that breach of trust, or what is that breach of trust? Breach of trust means every person of any organization has certain accountability or certain responsibility. Or which kind of responsibility? Responsibility of taking that things secret, taking that things not to disclose with anybody. Here in business or in our organization, the confidentiality of information is very important. We several informations which we have. For example, the best example of that strike, or the best example of that confidentiality is any decision which is being taken by the government, the decision which is being taken by any organization, the decision which is being decided, or the decision which is being taken by the police officers, or the raid before the CBI and the other organizations. Then confidential information of workers we have, confidential of information employees we have, confidential information of colleagues we have, and we may have certain confidential information of our competitors as well. Then when we are working in any organization, then we need to take that thing confidential. That's why we are saying confidentiality is essential. Then respectful, yes, every relation is important. Every relation is important. Or as Albert Einstein said, I speak to everyone in the same way, whether he is the garbage man or the president of university. What is the purpose, or what is the meaning of this statement? It means whenever we meet any person, ultimately we need to respect the positive feeling. Or when we are just respecting each other, we need to show specific feelings, and rude conduct usually considered as an indication of or lack of responsibility, indication of disrespect. Then most important thing is obedience of law. Yes, every law of land, it's a very important for every person. Law is a set of enforced rules under which society is governed. We may have two kind of rules, laws. One is written and another is which is being practiced but not written. But as a member of that society, we need to follow those norms also. The law is one of the most basic social institutions and one of the most necessary, because without following that law, we can't survive. Or Mahatma Gandhi said, an unjust law is itself a species of violence. Arrest for its breach is more so. When we are living in any country, ultimately that law of land has several rules, several regulations, several systems. We need to follow all. And under this, we have two important areas. One is legal subjects, those who are related to studies, and another is legal system. Every civil law living related to society, common law, of equality, and religious law. Every society has certain religious law also. So these laws are important. Ethics has three different R's, three different dimensions. What are these dimensions? First dimension is rules. Ethics, under ethics, we have certain rules and those rules needs to be followed. We have just talked about written rules as well as little bit about the written rule as well as the law of land. Another is responsibility. Yes, every person has different responsibilities. As a teacher, as a student, as a mother, as a father, as a parent, as a brother, as a sister, every person has different responsibilities. Or as an officer, maybe as a subordinate, maybe as a senior, maybe any person, we have several responsibilities. More so, we need to respect every person. These are the code of ethics. These are the code of ethics. So simultaneously, every person, whether that is a junior, whether that is a senior, every person is performing according to the requirement, according to the capacity, according to the capability. So we have several code of these ethics. Now some positive roles of codes of ethics also. Inspiration. When we are just inspiring, when we are inspiring any person, we have subordinate, we have colleagues, so we need to inspire any person to follow those code of ethics. Ultimately, guide. Which kind of guidance? We need to inspire the professionals. Here, this is very important to discuss at this point of time because most of the participants are professional. I am also a professional. Everybody is professional here. So we have certain inspiration and we are a professional. Then under that profession, we need to follow those moral principles under various conflicting situations. Here it is not important that we need to follow those systems. Here the important is what? Important is just to follow or apply those principles while we are in a conflicting situation. So that is important. Moreover, we have certain guidance. As a team, as a group, as a person, or as a citizen, we have certain guidance. Which kind of guidance I'm just talking about? These guidance is ultimately code of ethics, and these provides guidelines for achieving the obligation. Every person has certain obligations of professional, certain obligations of profession. As a lawyer, they have a profession, as engineer, as doctor, as a teacher. Every person has certain obligations of professions. And these code also provide specific guidelines. Which kind of guidelines? Like a very good example, when we are conducting any kind of case study, when we are conducting any kind of case study, specifically those who are just conducting research, do they leak any information related to that case study? Or when a doctor is treating a patient, whether that doctor is supposed to just leak that information? Yes, so and so is just being treated for this disease, or so and so is being treated for this disease. So those persons or those professionals have certain guidelines according to their system. Then support system. We have a support system. These ethical codes ultimately offers what? Offers these positive and potential support of professionals. Which kind of potential support we are talking about? While they are performing, a doctor is prescribed medication to a person. Ultimately, that doctor has certain code of profession, or that person has certain code of ethics. Which code of ethics that particular person has to follow? Which code of ethics we are just talking about? Ultimately, That person is not supposed to leak that information. That person is not supposed to share anything related to the treatment. That person is not supposed to share anything about the disease. Doctors are treating the patients who are having tuberculosis. Doctors are treating the patients who are having HIV/AIDS problem. Doctors are treating the patients who are suffering from cancer. Doctors are treating n number of problems. In fact, they also note one good example just recall to my mind. A person who is a criminal in nature, but the moment that person fall ill, ultimately goes to a doctor. What doctor does in that particular situation? As a professional, doctor has two situations in his mind at this point of time. One is that person is bound with code of professional ethics to treat that person irrespective of the profession of that particular person, whether that person is a cheater, whether that person is a criminal, whether that person is doing any business. But being a code of ethics of a doctor, that person is bound to treat that particular person. But simultaneously, the inner conscious of that doctor, the inner conscious of that doctor, which is considered as moral, just compelling or just pressurizing that doctor not to follow this, not to treat such an evil who is problematic or who is creating such kind of problems for the society. But following that system, following that code of ethics, that doctor is treating that person. So here a basic difference between ethics and this moral is, moral comes within. Moral is based upon our conscious. Yes, I'm doing this, but I'm not supposed to do this, because that conscious is not allowing that particular person, despite of any situation, despite of any other thing, or despite of any other system. But the another person, when we are just talking about this ethics, that ethics is being pressurized from outside. Which kind of pressurization we have from outside? First is code of professional ethics. Whether I'm a member of any society, I need to follow those professional ethics. If I'm a doctor, it's my code of ethics to treat any person. If I am an engineer, I need to just repair, or I need to just help to provide anything, being code of ethics. For example, a doctor who is just let us take one more example. A person who is bound to follow this ethics, professional ethics, and that person don't this person is getting salary from an organization. So following those professional ethics, or being that person is getting salary from that organization, that person should be loyal towards that organization. If that person is not showing any loyalty towards that organization, it means that person is breaching, those professional ethics. But here I'm saying, but it all depends upon the conscious of that person, whether that person is doing, or whether that person would like to do that task, or whether that person doesn't like to do that task. A person about whom I just gave an initial example, we have two institutions, institution A and institution B. Institution A charges 10 lakh rupees, institution B charges say 5 lakh rupees. One person who is having only 2 lakhs rupees, both the reach of both the institution is difficult for that particular person, but that person has some ambitious, some dreams, something in his mind, because that person has the responsibility as a father to provide that facility to his child to get settled. That's why, despite not having that good condition in finance, that particular person just thinking about two. One day that particular person reach a institution and discuss about the possibility of success or the financial condition, everything he discussed with that manager. The manager explained everything in detail to that particular person. Yes, we will charge 10 lakh rupees and we will just ensure that your child will follow our instructions. After attaining this program, this child will be able to do this, whatever system they have, because that particular person is bound to follow those professional ethics which were important for that particular person. That's correct. But simultaneously, when that person is just sharing, just you are like my brother, you are like my elder brother, or you like my younger brother, I have very limited income, but this I want to just get admission of my child for this particular institution. We have two choices. One choice is another institute which charge only 5 lakh rupees, or you are charging 10 lakh rupees, because I have only 2 lakh rupees. If I go for your institution, I will have to arrange for 8 lakh rupees. If I go for that another institution, I will have to arrange 3 lakhs of rupees. The moment the person is realizing the situation of that particular person, despite of having bound with the professional ethics, that conscious, the inner conscious of that particular person is just compelling him to just show, or just to decide, or just to give a hint, sir, both the institutions are equal, but I am sharing this in confidential. Please don't share with anybody. Here I am working, I am getting salary from here, so you don't disclose this. And after that, that particular person goes away. Here we have just talked about 3 issues. First issue was this professional ethics. One person was supposed to follow. Another thing was this conscious, the moral. Another person is getting from inside after seeing the condition of that particular person, because of the earning or because of the income of that particular person. Yes, he is a very poor fellow. How do he arrange these things? How do he manage these things? So keeping in all the views or all the aspect in mind, his inner conscious just allow him to share or just provide his opinion. And the person who just came to that system has a responsibility as a father to provide education to the child. So here we have 3 different things. And in short, if we just would like to summarize, so in this system, when we are considering as value, it means what is worth to be valued. Everything is not essential or everything is not important, but we have to decide which path I need to follow. So values are the basically principles, values are the basically standards, values are the qualities, but whom one would like to consider or whom would like to worthwhile or desirable. Values may vary from person to person, obviously from ideology to ideology. Here we are just following collectivistic approach. In other countries, people are following an individualistic approach. when we are talking about values, we have two kind of values. One is instrumental values and another of terminal values. Although we have other value system also, we have universal values, we have personal values, we have human values, we have n number of other values, but we have just discussed about the important one. Moreover, we have just talked about the moral. Moral ultimately are the decisions, or those decisions are based upon the values. As we just sign the character certificate, so and so just to be a good moral character. Then besides that, when we are just talking about the ethics, ultimately ethics are the guidelines for conduct that addresses the questions about morality. So all three are important for living any life. And it's not important that anybody just watching us, then only we just try to live a good life, or if somebody is watching me, then only I just try to follow this system. But it's important for our own conscious. When no one is watching, it is the character of an individual that determines the moral quality. But we need to follow that system. We need to follow the concept. So thank you very much for the opportunity. I think time is, we are according to time.
Yes, yes, sir.
And now